Live. It is
Holy
December
shit.
10th, 2018. This is Atlanta United FC Weekly, a Home Before Dark podcast.
A championship podcast.
A championship podcast. Do you feel like we need to lower the camera a little bit? You see it right here?
You can't because of the curvature on the screen. You end up getting the screen in the foreground. If you want to try it, go for it. I was tinkering with it before we started.
All right. Well,
everybody just needs to look up, look at the camera, be people.
Be people.
A little shiny part above the crest is just, it's a sight.
I feel like the camera quality is not super good tonight, but that's all right.
It's okay.
We'll do this. I actually, man. All right.
Do you want me to do it? I'll show you. I'm going to prove it to you.
Lower the camera. I'm going to let Kevin lower the camera and tinker for once instead of me. I am Tim Herb, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Kevin Bradley, who's lowering the camera right now. And then we have a rare sighting. We have a British man in our office, in our studios. Yeah, damn it.
What the hell? We just won the MLS Cup, and this is the shittiest opening to a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, we need to stop. Can we just start again, please?
Exactly.
This is terrible.
Tim didn't trust my judgment.
It's all right. We got to figure out the camera angle at some point.
True.
This is
now's not the time. The people don't want to hear about that.
Now is not the time. We are champions, guys.
We are
champions.
Blowing out my eardrums, Dan.
All right.
That's okay.
All right. We came prepared.
Remember, like Orlando fans. Remember Red Bull fans.
Here, I'm not going to pour that over the board. I was like,
for those of you who are wondering, this is the finest Welch's sparkling non-alcoholic white grape juice cocktail.
I'm gonna do it.
That means what other juices do you guys think are in here if it's a cocktail?
I'm going to do it.
Oh, it's corn juice. It's high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, it's not like dragon fruit.
Close your eyes. Ah!
Just broke a hole in my new ceiling.
Worth it.
That's all right.
Worth it.
Oh, I love it, Michael Miranda. Campeones la puta madre. I love it.
Oh, boy.
Feeling good. What do you have over there? You have Corbel?
Yeah.
Is that the? Oh, that's the finest. That's a Brut.
It's the Brut.
The Brut.
I like my champagne like I like my cologne. All Brut.
All Brut. All right,
gentlemen. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Oh.
Cheers. It feels so good.
Victory.
Feels great.
Victory dance.
We do need goggles, as Brian says, like the locker room.
We need the goals. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys are listening to us on or watching us on YouTube, thank you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell icon, and then also hit that little thumbs up button. Give us a like. Make sure that we are getting found by everybody. We want this to be a party. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, make sure that you guys leave a rating and or a review. We will read it live on the show. We have couple of those.
Several to read today.
Wow.
I want to go ahead and get mine out of the way early.
Just want to say shout out to Chris McCann, last person ever to get a booking in the 2018 MLS season.
And for not even touching anybody, right? Was it the intent of his slide that got him the yellow?
It was pretty ugly.
He did what he needed to do.
It was pretty ugly.
A horrible, cynical foul.
I liked it. I'm
so
getting
bad.
Crazy static in my ears right now.
Me too.
Crazy static.
God almighty.
All right. Maybe that'll help. Good God. Good God. We have a lot of normal faces. Brittany S., thank you for tuning in. Brian Diefenbach, Michael Miranda, Brian, my dad, Thomas Herb, Nate Corsi, and then the Watching Crows has returned. Well, I guess we didn't do him dirty last time, and he is tuning back in.
Back for more.
And shout out to Norma, Angie's grandmother, who stayed up, watched the entire game on Saturday. She's hardcore.
Shout out to Norma.
Yeah.
What's it going to take to get her and the Palacios grandma together? For the grandma's cup.
Oh my God.
The Abuela Cup.
Abuela Cup. Abuela Cup.
Oh man. Dan, it feels good to have you back in here.
I'm
not watching the screen trying to get some cadence in there.
Exactly. I don't have to wait to see if you're going to respond. It's perfect. Fuck off.
I am so excited to be back. It takes a lot for me to get here, and it took me almost an hour in the dark and the drive.
Did it really?
Did it
well,
really?
It took me about at least 40 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
So, but
I thought I'd be closer to Dunwoody.
well, not at this time.
Oh, that's
because
true.
of the traffic.
Yeah.
But you know,
Is
whatever.
it closer than the old studio was at least?
Was
about the same?
It's probably about the same.
Yeah.
But I just took back roads.
Gotcha. Yeah, guys. Championship. What a hell of a day it was.
Did you say you wanted to get your review out of the way already?
Oh, God. Let me at least get that one out of the way. We'll start with the bad and end with the
Greg Fraser. It is Championship Monday. And I have no notes prepared. This is true Home Before Dark fashion. I just want to tell you guys how much we love you, how awesome Saturday was.
I just want to enjoy the moment.
Like how much I love Atlanta United for coming through the guest services team, getting me a handicap accessible seat for Saturday.
So me and Kevin want to nerd ADA question you about your ADA experience.
Okay. Sure, because you guys have to comply with ADA regulations, obviously, in architecture.
I mean, we don't,
and we do too. And
it is
even
kind of the worst.
Even in software, you would you probably wouldn't think about it. Yeah,
I know. Yeah,
yeah. We have to do the same at my company.
Oh,
in a lot of ways, yeah.
But so, how was it, Tim?
It was great.
You had a great viewing angle. Nothing blocked your view.
No, no
obstructions for the handrails or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
The only
how did you use the urinal?
Did it have the appropriate diameter around the handrail and had a full adequate 1.5 inch minimum separation from any wall or horizontal obstruction?
Oh, this podcast has gone.
Sure. Yeah. No, sure. No, the viewing angle was great. The sight lines, I could just not see the sideline. So it was kind of hard to see whenever Greg Garza was making those runs to go chase those balls down. I couldn't tell if they were going out or not. But otherwise, I'd rather see the back of the goal, which I can't see in 120 whenever it's coming my way.
I just wanted to be in the building. I mean,
yeah.
I'm hoping that it's going to be the first of a plethora of MLS championships.
Yeah.
But you'll always remember the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would think that the way things are going, that we're poised to win another one, right?
Oh, absolutely. Of course. No, I don't. I mean, I think we have the possibility of winning another one next year, though. I doubt it. I can't see that happening.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know who's on the team. Don't even know the coaches.
Nobody knows who's on the team yet.
I forget that the podcast app screwed up all the sorting. So it doesn't even give me the option to sort by most recent for the review.
That sucks.
It's really, really frustrating.
I want to say shout out to all the people at the meet and greet. I couldn't believe all the people that I met. I finally met Kevin Brown, which is insane. What a nice guy. Spoke to him for all of 8 seconds. Got his life story.
Dean was there.
I saw Dean.
Dean is a rarity to find.
He is. He's like what is it? A Jigglypuff?
A Gigolo Puff.
Oh,
how do you think he made his way to the game on Saturday?
Exactly.
I saw
he drank a lot of Faygo, which was weird. I hadn't seen that in years.
Really?
Yeah. He's a Gigolo Puff.
That's Juggalo Puff.
Juggalo. Yeah, he got it.
Brian, who was at the meet and greet last time, was saying he wished he could have gone. 101 was anarchy. That's what I heard. That supporter section is 101, correct? So what I heard was
it was in madness.
Who do I remember seeing say that they got there as soon as doors open and they couldn't get to the front row of the supporter section.
Really?
So we had
it was just like a madhouse to get down there.
We had a plan. We had our spot that we'd scoped out when we were playing NYCFC here. So because there were a bunch of us that went, I think we had 4 different seats in the stadium that we would all have to go to. So we scoped out our spot. It was right outside Game Changer. You could see the Halo board from there. You could see the field. Got there. It was all full. We had to make our way down to this ADA, lower viewing platform. And then as soon as you got there, we're like, awesome. This is going to be great. We can see all the pitch. And then, of course, I can't believe I didn't think about this. Everyone stood up and we couldn't see shit for the entire game.
Of course.
We couldn't even see the Halo board. We had to duck down to see it.
Wow.
But what we did is we just went up to our seat. So shout out to Matt Weinecker, who got me tickets.
I think you got another shout out you need to tack onto that.
I'm going to get there. Shout out to Matt Weinecker. But he got me a seat, which was on the last row of the highest point in the stadium.
Really?
It was on the bleacher part. They were temporary seating. They run out of concrete and they just did steel. And it shook. My wife got up there and she was like, after 2 minutes, I can't do this. This is way too much anxiety. It was like being in a hot air balloon.
That sounds amazing.
So
especially if you've had a whole day of drinking.
Right. So she went down. She's like, I'll meet you down there. This is not working. So I stayed up there for like probably 20 minutes and then met her down there before halftime. And then some friends of ours who we happened to run into found a completely empty row of seating in the end zone right opposite the supporter section.
That's great.
So we just all watched the
That's great.
watch the game from there.
That's great.
Shout out to Robin Sagini. I want to make sure I pronounce that name right. I have stickers for you, my love, and they are on their way. I've even got the envelopes already stamped.
Yeah.
So we just need to DM her for her address. Bish bash bosh. She was a rock star. Can't believe at the 11th hour on the 7th of December, she came through with the ticket. Rock star, heroine.
God, the meet and greet, the whole day. And I think that's what Tim and I were talking leading up to this about a little bit of talking I can do because my voice is still kind of gone from the day leading up to it. It was a wet and rainy day, and the 17 showed out in full force. I mean, the entire Gulch was completely full. Shout out to Faction, who happened to have a spare tent set up that nobody was occupying. And so Home Before Dark pretty much just posted up. Kelly and Jay did a broadcast there, and there was an empty tent, and Kevin Brown and Andy and Bina and Matt and Dean and I mean, everybody, we just sort of posted up inside that one little dry spot and hung out there for the rest of the day. But we were talking leading up to the show tonight about why it hadn't set in really. And I think a lot of it was trying to cater expectations throughout the day. It was such an emotional day leading up to the match.
Oh, absolutely.
That afterwards, it was almost just a relief that it was some sense of closure to it, regardless of the result, you know? So yeah. It's been a great season and a great experience.
My bare naked ladies thing didn't work because I had the microphone up.
It's probably for the best. Did you get those reviews pulled up?
I saw you. It's been. You have that like queued up. Yeah, I have the reviews up right now.
Brian Diefenbach. He went to the EMLS event on Friday night, and that was hype as well.
That's awesome.
Did our guy win? And I'm shockingly and on brand don't know the guy's name, but I've seen him. I can pick him out in a crowd.
All right, let's see here. I just want to get to mine, and then we'll read all the other nice ones later.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and read the reviews. As we said, if you leave a review on iTunes, we will read it on the show, no matter what it says.
All right, so I'm going to read this one. We'll read the other ones later. Worst Clemson podcast ever. 1 star by Kyle Rollins. Congrats on being a douche, Kevin. But hey, it's just a review. So thanks for that. I will take full ownership in that whenever people can't take cynical criticism about college football lightly and expect us to stay in our lane whenever this show got started by 2 assholes who just wanted to sit around and talk about what they wanted to talk about. So thanks for that. We appreciate the 1-star review, mostly because it got us to our goal of 150 reviews.
Yes!
So you've only helped better us in the long run. So thank you. And we appreciate it. We're sitting at 152 now. We broke that threshold that we had been sitting on for a couple of weeks. Hey, you guys want to offset that 1 review, or you want a 1-star review, or you want to leave your own? Go ahead. Go post it on iTunes. Whatever it says, we will read it aloud on the show.
All right. We got Josh Reynolds saying he still couldn't unclinch until the final whistle. It was Tortellini time from start to finish.
Me too.
Because I mean, if you looked at the games prior that Portland played, I mean, coming back, I mean, they came back in at least one of the games, if not more, against
They came
SKC.
back in the second half against SKC.
Exactly. They were down away at SKC, came back, beat the best team in the West to get to the championship, and we really couldn't take our foot off the gas. The one thing I will say that I'm glad Tata did at the end, which can be construed as taking his foot off the gas, was giving Joseph and Miggy their curtain call.
I appreciated it, and I thought it was well deserved.
I thought it was pretty classy from Tata to do that, to make sure that those guys got the standing ovation
Agreed.
to themselves that they deserved. It was.
I think any ovation would have been a standing ovation on Saturday. There wasn't a person in a seat in the entire stadium.
I managed to video. I don't normally take videos during the games. I don't like to even take pictures because I just want to experience the moment because I'm that meta. But I took a video of Almiron's last few steps going off the field with the crowd going freaking nuts.
Yeah.
And just him, I was like, damn, that's it. That is 95% sure that is Miggy's last minute that he's played for us.
So many standout moments for all the players around that game, outside, off of the pitch. You talk about Miggy's last steps on the field. One of the things that stood out to me the most during the celebrations and the events that transpired after the game was the way Gressel handled himself and the way he presented the cup to the supporters.
I thought that was my favorite part. I think of the entire celebration.
That really blew me away. I mean, I just completely unprompted, unscripted, and for him to walk over and to do it the way he did.
Is that a fire alarm?
Is it really?
Is it just in our headphones?
It's probably the Timbers fans outside your front door.
You want to kill the... Are we getting DDoSed? Something's ringing. Can you guys hear? That was Dan's computer having a meltdown. We thought we were all getting, or I thought we were getting swatted. And
good God, Dan
had gotten Tim's address and called the SWAT team. It was Kyle Rollins. He said that 1-star review wasn't enough. He said, I'm burning this bitch down.
Dan, what did you do? Did you bring a bomb into my house?
Just melt your fucking hard drive?
In my life.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, so they're talking in the chat. They're saying
there was just a lot of cussing on brand. Kevin started talking, just had to start censoring it.
Oh, dear God. Brian Diefenbach was talking about Valeri crying, and Greg Fraser said, good God, the whining was killing me. He said the Portland Timbers whining, not Dan's computer. Good God, Dan.
That was bizarre.
How very British of you.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Yes. I was looking up at a ceiling for the fire alarm, or for the smoke detector, because I don't know my new house well enough. I think one's in my freaking bedroom, or one of the bedrooms.
Is it the
sorry,
it's the carbon monoxide detector?
That's right. I was like, oh shit, did I leave the fireplace going or something?
Did you leave that hose hooked up to your exhaust that you ran into the studio?
That's really weird.
I'm about to murder suicide all of us tonight on broadcast.
I really wanted to take a nap whenever I got into my garage earlier.
Oh, God.
Oh, dear God. Jimmy Vance, what's up, man? You guys loved the coverage that you guys had. We were sitting in traffic on the way home listening to 92.9. And the coverage that you guys had was fantastic. They kept doing a round table. They kept pulling people in and out. And Jimmy was on there. It was good to hear your voice, Jimmy. It's been too long, man.
Absolutely has.
But yes, Gressel.
Yeah, the Gressel moment was surreal, and there's so many of those moments. LGP putting the baby inside the cup to take the pictures with. It was, I mean, just little things like that made me so happy.
So one thing I've thought about: sometimes we talk about things, and people may not have seen it. So why don't you explain the whole Gressel thing, like how it came about?
So everybody was on the stage after they hoisted the cup, and then all the players were sort of doing the traditional kiss the cup, celebrate, take a moment with the cup. And it made a couple of rounds through. I think it was Martinez, Parkhurst, obviously, Guzan, LGP maybe. And then whenever it made its round to Gressel, he immediately ran off of the platform, which was at the 50, and ran all the way over to the goal line right in front of the supporters groups and supporter section rather, and just hoisted the cup up for the supporter section, as if to say it's our cup as much as it is theirs, or at least that was the way we all took it.
Gave me goosebumps.
It was incredible.
It was such an awesome moment.
Yeah.
I keep muting my mic just because I'm fiddling. I was eating Hershey's Kisses. I needed them. Low on energy.
And you judge me for eating in the mic.
Yep. Well, I'm doing the exact. Yes, I judge you for eating in the mic because I mute my mic whenever I eat into it. I'm not going to subject somebody to something.
Remember that short corner you did, and you were just eating like a bag of chips the whole time. I was like, God damn it!
No, he was eating. Terrible. He was eating a ripping chicken meal from Popeyes.
I'm
just gonna eat Velmo. Get over it,
guys. You know what to expect now. Give me another 1-star review. This is your favorite Clips and Podcast. My favorite thing is when Deshaun scored the winning goal in the MLS Cup.
Welcome to Claws Out.
My voice, I can't do that.
And 23 guys, 1 cup. That's all I gotta say.
Yes.
Nice. Nice.
No, it was a lot more guys than that. It was good to see some of those young guys out there too. We talk about it now or later. The noticeable absence.
Let's talk about it later.
Later,
Okay.
for sure.
I mean, I want to point out Andy Watkins in the trap. LGP rolling onto the stage like was pulling off
Yeah.
a run in.
Yeah.
Hey, that's probably the best gift that has come out.
I wish he just threw a chair
this
into it,
game.
threw a chair into the ring, and rolled under the ropes.
I like he was so smooth, and then he kind of like almost slipped.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
his studs almost caused him to break his face.
Uncle
was
Arthur,
great, though.
Uncle Arthur getting the champagne shower was great. Seeing that.
Yes, Uncle Arthur hitting the golden spike before the game.
Tata hitting the final golden spike
Yeah.
at the end of the game.
Mm.
Again, just so many moments off the field, and
Mhm.
there's plenty to talk about during the run of play. But all of those little moments with all of these people has just been it's been amazing to watch and experience.
Do we need to break down the game at all?
No, I think
there were a couple. I mean, there's a couple of things.
This means Dan took notes.
I
Okay.
would like to just point out. So Nagby has gone pretty much. He goes fairly underrated and has done most of this season. when
he
he's
had a
been playing.
standout
Who?
game.
Sorry,
Nagby.
Nagby. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was immense.
He absolutely
was
was.
fighting for the ball. I really wish he had been able to score a goal.
He wanted that goal really bad at the beginning too. I haven't seen him attack like that pretty much all season.
Yeah.
His foot is a magnet. It is
Yeah.
a freaking electromagnet. He was like going through 3 guys at one time. Guzan, jeez Louise, when he made that set, I think they had
Bobassi
maybe
save off
3
of the
shots
header.
on goal.
Yeah, the header save was incredible.
I thought, as soon as I saw the cross in and saw he was wide open, I was like, damn.
There's one of them that was like
That
a
is
direct dribbler into him that was whatever. But then those other 2 saves that he made, the save deflected and then Parkhurst got it out of the box.
And the Bobassi header was
The save on the Bobassi header was so impressive to me because he was he had his arms stretched out the whole way away from his body, and he caught the ball.
Well, he also had to make
tap it and drop it down. He caught it, held on to it, and then went to ground.
Well, he
It was
also had to
insane.
make a transition from near post to opposite post during the run of play to make that save, which was great vision by him to recognize where the runner was and to track the ball appropriately.
That's why we got freaking Brad Guzan, because of that.
I mean, you talking about Nagby. One of the conversations we had last show was who was the standout new addition to the team this season, and the selections were Nagby, Remedi, Escobar, and Barco. One of the great things for me out of this game was 2 of those players. I mean, Remedi had a good game too, but noticeably, obviously, Franco with the goal and Nagby and run of play and the 2 shots he had on goal. Both Escobar and Nagby had incredible games, and Franco Escobar with 2 goals in the postseason for Atlanta United. Remedi with 1. I mean,
And Franco Escobar scored 3 if you count. I think his first goal of the season came late on in the season, right at the end of the season.
He has just been a freaking upward profit chart the whole way.
I mean,
as we've been going on.
I can't imagine.
Franco Escobar.
I can't imagine what
Escobarco. I want to see that next year.
New
The
fusion.
fusion dance, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, LGP, give the guy a medal, man. He has continuously been my man crush since like week 3 of season 1. What a guy. Freaking love him. Slide tackling all over the place. He even managed to run past midfield and not fall over and dive. He's just freaking amazing. He's been freaking nails.
He did
this
try
whole
to take
playoff.
space across midfield. Instantly got shut down though, and I just started laughing whenever it happened.
But he's been nails. He's been
he
nails.
absolutely
He
has
has
been.
been the heart of the defense.
All
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
let's
And
see what we got.
to Stuck 2011's point, LGP deserves a raise. Is he going to need to be is he going to need to be DP money at a certain point?
See, that's where I don't think Atlanta United are going to DP a defender.
No,
Because I was thinking,
Not if
like,
you, I mean,
it's going to get to a point, like, either it's going to be, this is how much we can pay you legally under the cap rules.
Yeah.
Unless so either another MLS team, a limitless
Yeah.
a limitless team's going
a
to come in,
limitless team
is going to come in,
take the pill,
and take him and pay him and make him a DP, or he's going to get transferred to Europe,
All
or we're going to be able to keep him under.
I do want to make sure make sure on your notes you write down contract negotiations and looking ahead to next season, because I think that's okay. That is a
like that
giant hog. Okay.
Contract negotiation.
Yeah, I think part of today's episode is talking about some of the things that came out based on contracts and looking ahead to next season. So
speaking of which, wait, I guess we'll stick with the game.
Yeah, let's stick with the game, and then also what everybody's talking about in the trap, because we got a lot of people going off.
Okay, do you want to talk about Gaza, or is that we save that?
What do you mean?
The whole Gaza rumor trash.
Yeah, no, let's hold off on all the acquisitions and trades and all of that. Patrick Hansel, no one had a bad game. There were very few mistakes. Very impressed with how they were so focused throughout the playoffs. You and I had that conversation too. I think positionally, every player had a standout moment in that game.
Yeah. I mean, it's the entire playoffs has been that. In the thing that gets overlooked so much is we gave up 2 goals the entire playoffs, right?
Yeah.
We gave up 1 to NYCFC and New York Red Bulls, and then we shut them out in the. So we had 3 clean sheets in 5 games in the MLS playoffs.
Yep,
that's something that goes completely under the radar. People don't talk about it all that much because we have the high flying, high scoring offense. We have the record breaking forward and Joseph Martinez. We have the electric Miggy Almiron. We have, Tito off the bench even gets plaudits. We have whatever. But nobody talks about Michael Parkhurst having probably the best. He had a way better season this year than he did last year.
Parkhurst's tackle at midfield is what sets up Martinez's goal.
Yeah,
to open up the floodwaters in the championship game. Yeah,
and then you take a look at Jeff Lorenowitz, who last year we scoffed at his being put in the back 3 or in the back 4, and
arguably one of Atlanta United's biggest weaknesses, anybody would say, would be defending set pieces. And I think of the 4 or 5 that they had, 75-80% of them, Jeff Lorenowitz single-handedly defended and cleared the box on.
He had a standout game too. I thought that he's back next year. We'll talk about the things that they're talking about in the trap next year, or with the expansion draft and all that. But, Eric Remedi too. If you want to talk defense, you talk about how solidified this defense has been since bringing him in. Nagby's injury was a blessing in disguise because we really shored up that midfield.
Blessing in the skies.
Blessing.
You said it wrong.
Blessing in the skies. But seriously, if Nagby doesn't go down in the middle of the season against Portland, what happens? We don't bring in Remedi most likely to take his place. And then Tata then has a 3-man midfield. He's like, oh shit, I should probably play this the entire season whenever I get them healthy. And that really ended up playing well into our favor. And then,
do you think it was beneficial? There was a lot of talk, even by our own standards, about Atlanta United not knowing what its starting lineup was until we got into the playoffs. But I'll be damned if we didn't find it for those last 5 games.
Well, I think
it might have benefited us in some way that teams didn't really know.
Well, we had Gaza out.
Yeah.
And we had a dearth of injuries at left back. And then I feel like we played Tito a lot. Well, we didn't really understand the Tito Gressel thing until way later in the season, right. And then put in Almiron in a more forward position, and let in Nagby kind of basically run the midfield.
Yeah,
which he did. He did really well, and like a really efficient clip too.
Exactly. Who put it in the trap? Andy Watkins, Remedi, best signing of the year. I totally agree.
I think Nagby's got my vote there.
See, I think Franco Escobar has my vote.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah.
They've all made standout, performances, and certain things have played out over the course of the season as a result of all of their positions.
I think the dynamism that Franco Escobar brings to the field at a position that we've kind of been weak at, right? Historically. I mean, if you look at last season, we played Tyrone Mears at the right back, and he wasn't great. Anton Walks, I think, did a serviceable job as a center defensive mid / center back deployed over on the right back. And then we had to play with, we had a committee of Sal Zizzo, Julian Gressel, who I think did a job whenever he was asked to. But Franco Escobar got put in that position. He made it his own. We thought, a lot of people were talking earlier on in the season, after the transfer happened, that he was going to be, maybe the heir apparent to Michael Parkhurst. He's going to end up playing center back. Maybe we play a 3-back with him, Parkhurst, and LGP. And I think just because of his size, a lot of people were probably doubting how well of a true right back he would be, a true fullback.
Yeah, he got a lot of stick at the beginning of the season.
He did. I mean, it
wasn't his fault he got knocked out.
I was going to say
twice by
if Garza and Guzan tried to do it again in the championship game at the end. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It's like just trying to go 3 for 3, huh? I see you.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and anybody who says that Franco Escobar had any trouble settling at the beginning, it was strictly because he kept getting concussed by Brad Guzan. No, every time he's on the pitch, he was great.
I think part of it was getting used to the system. Like I remember early in the year, he would go up and he would attack, but he would always have a difficulty getting back in order to be able to defend. But I'm going to give him like the Emil Assad Hustle Award for this year because he really put in some effort all the time. He's going freaking 110% all game.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him the cutest redhead in the office award. The Dundies. It's the Dundies.
The other thing that I noticed a lot in this game was what we talked about last week too, which is how do you defend against this Portland team if they run right at you whenever they do get the breakaway? And one of the things we talked about was the overlapping play on defense. And I consistently saw that anytime that they had a breakaway, it was that overlapping run by the next man up that was able to shut them down outside of the cross that they almost put in off of the header, which they just got a little out of position there. But otherwise, for the most part, the entire game, Valeri was shut down. Nobody was really creating consistent opportunities, and Atlanta kind of had their way with the field because they had pressed them back so far onto their own half that they didn't really have an answer for Atlanta.
Yeah, it seemed like we were defending pretty high up for a good bit of it.
Considering Parkhurst's assist from a tackle at midfield, I think that
40,
says it all. Yeah.
I got worried at about 20 minutes because we started the last 2 podcasts I've actually been on. I was saying that we just need to go direct all the time. And that's what we did against NYCFC and the first leg of Red Bulls. We just went direct the whole time. But this time I saw, the ponderous build-up to goal. And at 0-0, we had started doing that. I was like, oh, shit. What are we doing? Here we go. But they just managed to get through it. They completely outmaneuvered Portland. And then when we got the goal, we pressed when we need to. We sat back when we need to. I feel like the final was our most complete game that we've played.
I think so too.
I felt like after watching it a second time without the emotion, I was like, we freaking had this game.
It was never
just
in question.
dominated.
It was never in question.
It was so relaxed.
And the crazy thing is that we dominated, and it was the most complete team game. But I don't even think that it was Martinez's best game or Miggy's best game or any of these people. All of them had key moments throughout the game.
Yeah.
And it was the most complete game as a whole. But there were still things that were left on the table. But one of the things, to your point about the way Atlanta was creating opportunities, is what made this team this season so special was the amount of ways and opportunities that they could create to beat somebody. And that showed through in the championship.
To your point, Kevin, my sort of more standout players from this game, Nagbe, Guzan, LGP, Franco, Parkey, Jeff.
I agree.
Not a single DP in there.
I think Gressel, did you say Gressel?
I didn't put Gressel in there.
Gressel had a great game too. Yeah.
Oh, he did. Yeah. But
it wasn't the people that you would expect to have on that list going into this game. I mean, Martinez obviously scores the goal, but other than that, and he has the assist, gets man of the match. But aside from those moments, there wasn't any huge standout play from Martinez. There wasn't any huge standout run of play from Miggy. I agree. I think a lot of it was the unsung heroes of that game that ended up getting Atlanta that win.
Yeah, but I want to give shout out to Martinez. I mean, that goal was pure composure.
Yes.
Like he scored against the Red Bulls.
Fucking great, man. And he's done it multiple times. He did it against Orlando. He's done it against the Red Bulls. You've seen it time and time again. If he can get the ball, aside from the second leg of Red Bulls, if he can get the ball in space, a little bit of composure, he slots it away. I think Escobar's goal was just, I think that was a nicer goal than Martinez's because of the accuracy and the timing that he had to slot that through to get that opposite post.
But who assisted that goal?
Oh, no, it was from Martinez's flick on. Absolutely.
Was it a flick on or was it just a miss?
I don't know. I thought the same thing at first, but I watched his eyes. His eyes looked to be going over to the right side. I don't know. You never know. Maybe he was just following the ball.
So I can't believe that. So to your point, Tim, that makes Escobar's goal even more impressive to me.
Team performance.
If that Martinez places it there, he's got to be making that run at that level of precision. Either way you cut it, it's either he's making up for a misplaced header by Martinez on goal, or he's having to be in a run of play to actually put it away. Mm-hmm. Either way you cut it, he still had to put it in one position, and he hit it right on the inside of the far post and on a slide. That's really, really difficult.
New face in the trap. I don't think anyone's heard this guy. Jay Riddle. Escobar's goal looked like something they trained on the training ground. Yeah. I could agree with that.
Yeah.
See, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it was intentional. And to Jay's point in the trap, you're overlooking Joseph Martinez's performance on Saturday.
I think
it's a little disrespectful.
I don't think it was.
I'm not saying he had a bad game, but it wasn't his best game.
It was kind of
that's what I'm saying. Do you think Saturday was Joseph Martinez's best game that he's had all season?
No,
it's not the best game. Yeah, it's not the best game he's had all season, but that's not to say that you guys are spoiled as shit.
I'm not, dude. No, you're just.
If you think, I'm sorry, I love Julian Gressel as much as the next guy, but if you think that he had a better game than Joseph on Saturday, I think you're smoking crack. If I need to specify,
you can smoke my pole too.
I think, yeah. People were talking about England in the World Cup, and they had devised this whole set piece plan about, oh my gosh, they're so deadly on free kicks. And then when they played Croatia, we found out they were just hitting it towards the penalty spot. And so it kind of felt like, I don't know, why are you going to have a free header in front of the goal and intentionally pass it off to the
ultimately doesn't really matter. We got the goal. We're splitting hairs for a championship game with a championship level goal.
Whatever.
Doesn't matter. Everybody, I've said it at the beginning of the show. Everybody had a great game at every position. There were key moments for every player,
except Chris McCann. Actually, no, Chris McCann's tackle is pretty valuable.
Oh my God, how you level them out is anybody's preference. I didn't say Martinez had a terrible game. All I said was that it was his best game he had all season.
And to Brittany S's point, saying that Gressel had a fair game, I'm not saying he didn't. I thought Gressel played well. I thought he was a little nervy at first, but then he ended up having some pretty crucial touches in that in control and getting the ball out of some congestion. But at the same time, I just think that Joseph was more impactful in the game.
I'm sorry. I will completely take it all back. She has spoken. Brittany S. He had a goal and an assist in the freaking final, Kevin.
Did she say that to me?
For shame, Kevin.
Why is this all coming to me? Why is this all coming to me?
Shame.
You guys are just the worst.
Yeah, everybody in the trap that attended the parade this morning, let us know what you thought. How cool is that we had a big ass parade this morning? I couldn't get out of work to go to it.
It was cool, except for the fact that they had 11 Alive tried to report on it, and none of them. This was the first time they had ever heard about soccer. Apparently, aside from Brittany Arnold, who managed to get roped in to actually speak intelligently about Atlanta United and what it means to this city.
Whatever, bro. Did you not see that crucial coverage that 11 Alive had whenever Tito tried to shoot the entire crowd? An airsoft pistol, machine gun.
It was so
how did you navigate to that on the website? Through the drop down.
Yeah,
bar.
the drop down bar. That's right.
That's
It was
what the Home
so
Before
bad.
Dark website's missing.
It was so bad. One of the broadcasters was out there like they're chanting ATL. It's just like, oh my god.
I think they did that just for the subtitles part.
It was so bad. It was so bad. But yeah, I mean, the turnout looked incredible. I couldn't do another day in the rain and or miss work. So it looks like everybody really showed out in full force though, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm slammed. I should be doing work rather than here, but I need to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jay said the guy who did the Tito gun or created the shitstorm around the Tito guns was doing play interviews after the match and looked like he hated being there. Good. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Changed my mind. Andy Watkins says that Frosted Orange, everybody had a good game except Frosted Orange.
All right, so now I guess is the time to break that out, right?
All right, guys. Yeah, he was noticeably absent. We watched the.
Was it noticeably though?
Yes, that was one of the first. That was one of the first things that Angie and I both pointed out whenever we were watching the celebrations. You see Goslin, you see Bello, you see Okonkwo, you see Kunga Squad, and where's their best friend Andrew Carlton? They've been inseparable all year. They're inseparable. Like they've played together for years. They're all best friends. And to see Andrew Carlton out of that crowd, it was really weird to me.
I don't know. Yeah. He hasn't played a full season in USL or scored a goal for Atlanta United. So he's kind of he's not on my radar.
He assisted the record tying goal for Joseph.
Yeah,
Dan.
Was it?
Dan
it was later on there.
Dan has a lot of prerequisites players must meet before they are deemed valid in his opinion.
Goal. We've got plenty of
Dan
players
prees a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But seriously, so what ended up happening is we heard rumors, and then I guess it's all been confirmed now that Andrew Carlton broke team rules, as you put it, the Eugene Robinson rule from the 1997 Super Bowl or 98 Super Bowl. Was it 98?
I don't know.
Anyway, he was out partying the night before he's not old enough to party. That was the other thing I was interested in, with all those youngsters in the back with all the champagne going off. But Andrew Carlton Snapchatting during the partying.
Sorry, Brandon Scott, not breaking season goal records. Not on my radar. Totally agree. Totally agree, Brandon.
Oh, God.
Do you think this is going to have any sort of permanent impact on his stay in Atlanta? Because I think the rumors that started on Sunday morning, because we had that weird transfer the weird trade window that opened in MLS, was Andrew Carlton was out of the squad yesterday. Like, he had been posting everything in the Eastern Conference. Eastern Conference Championship. He was posting pictures with the trophy.
He was seen practicing and doing training.
And then nothing happened. He wasn't at the game. He's not posting anything. This must mean in the trade window that he's getting ready to be sold or not sold. Sorry, getting ready to be traded. But that wasn't the case. He just was out partying and Snapchatting it like a dummy.
What a dumbass.
All you had to do was not post it.
It's the final.
Yeah.
It's the MLS Cup final, the biggest game the team have played in its existence.
And what if they needed you?
He's breaking the friggin' rules.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that he's a teenager, and hopefully this has kind of woke him up, even though...
How woke is he, though?
Even, I don't know, is he flat earth woke? I don't know. But even though he's probably a good kid, Andrew... Come on, dude. Don't do that shit. Hopefully he learns. Hopefully he learns it from his lesson. And it's not that I'm angry.
I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway from that is that I hope whoever Atlanta United gets as their next coach, that the disciplinary actions that took place for Barco or Carlton or whoever this season, the youth of the team, whenever you have those learning moments, for them to stop drawing things like that, Dan. Whenever you have these teaching moments for the kids, that you end up with a coach that feels comfortable maintaining status quo going forward, and that it's not just sort of brushed aside and it's nothing to be said.
Yeah, because status quo for us is accountability.
Exactly.
Right. And Alan Pardew is a very good disciplinarian. I'm just kidding. Fuck that guy. Can't fucking stand Alan Pardew.
Why did Alan Pardew come up?
Oh, so he was linked to the Atlanta United job.
Oh, fuck off.
Did you see the Portland Timbers? They were like, congratulations, but we're just salty right now. Fuck you guys. Fuck Atlanta United fans. Hope you hire Alan Pardew.
Who said that?
Just the Portland fans.
Okay. I thought you were saying the Timbers tweeted that out.
Oh, no. That's probably what I said, but I mean, you know.
Bill Holcomb joining the trap asking who's still drunk.
Not me, because I hydrated like a good boy.
Bill's an hour late, so I'm guessing he's pretty drunk.
So, funny story. And Matt Weineker will understand. I got home from the game. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning, drunk out of my mind, and my insulin pump gives me a warning saying you have
X _X.
You have 5 minutes to live.
You have 0 units of insulin remaining. Like, fuck, I've got to change it now, and it's kind of an ordeal. Like I've got to put needles in my body.
You got one of those little capsule corp things you got to pop the top off of and stick it in.
And so it was just a real pain that I had to do that.
Oh my God.
It was fine. Dan ruining the podcast. Thanks, Jay.
Jonas Wilson saying he doesn't remember meeting Dan and Kevin. He remembers meeting me.
Oh my God, Jonas.
Are you serious, Jonas? We spoke for like 10 minutes, man.
Jonas, you were the MVP of the meet and greet, dude.
And our dreams and our fantasies.
And you dropped all that Chick-fil-A on the ground. And in solidarity, I picked up a waffle fry and ate it.
Yo, I was picking up his Chick-fil-A sauce and putting it back in his bag, but it kept dropping on the floor. It's like, oh, fuck it.
He was so I think
he just said, I have Jason Bourne memories.
The MLS Cup for him was like some weird game of Memento that he had to play the next day, just going backwards through his snaps to see what the result was. I don't know who was more drunk, Jonas or Danny Palacios at the first meet and greet that we had, where we took pictures with him, and somehow he got so drunk he turned into a shapeshifter, and the pictures he took didn't even look like himself.
You're talking about two guys. Those guys were crying the entire time. Danny and Raphael.
Yeah.
All those pictures people were taking of them crying in the supporter section.
Oh my
I'm British.
God.
I don't cry.
He only knows he had Chick-fil-A because of a receipt.
Oh man. Oh,
Brittany S. Shannon is gone.
All right, we're gonna talk roster
Ding
moves.
dong, Shannon's gone.
We're gonna talk. Well, first, to Bill saying y'all didn't party like Lorenowitz today, drinking beers and whatever liquor people threw at you. He had a bunch of panhandler signs. He had two panhandler signs saying "any liquor, please" or like "beer me" or whatever it said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Chris McCann caught a beer and chugged it right there.
That's pretty great.
All right.
Roster moves.
All right. Do you want me to go through the list of guys?
I have it up if you want.
Do you want to do? So I've got a list of who we are not protecting.
That's who I have. That's what I have up right now.
Do you want me to go through the list of the guys we have declined options on?
Yeah. I mean, I have.
It's 14 people, right?
Yes, it's 14 people combined.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just go ahead and go through it, Dan. Mikey Ambrose, John Gallagher. These are people who we are not protecting and or have declined their option. Mitch Hildebrandt, we have declined his option. Alec Kann, Kevin Kratz, Jeff Lorenowitz, which we'll talk about in a second. Chris McCann, Michael Parkhurst, who's a free agent. We have declined his option so that he would go back into the free agent pool. Oliver Shannon got his option declined. Brandon Vasquez is protected or unprotected. Sorry.
Whoa.
Awo got his Andrew Wheeler Omnium got his option declined. Romario Williams is unprotected, and Sal Zizzo is a free agent.
But to bear in mind with all of these guys, without thinking about Lorenowitz and Parkhurst, you wouldn't protect any of these guys over the likes of, Joseph Martinez, LGP, Franco Escobar, Darlington Nagbe.
There were a couple guys on our team that were protected by default, right? Designated players are protected by default, I believe.
I think the homegrown players up until an age. So Bello, Carlton, and
that DPs are protected, because I read somewhere that even though we think Almiron is going, if we didn't protect him, then if FC Cincinnati picked him up, and he's sold, they would get his transfer fee.
Huh.
Which is just super,
Patrick
super
Hansel
cray-cray.
says DPs aren't protected.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the criteria for automatic protection. There were some that were ineligible from anyone with no trade clauses have to be protected.
I don't know. But I think it's more because I know Mitch Hildebrand. I was a little bit surprised by that one, but we've got Alec Can, and I was surprised by his option being declining, but he has been kind of injured. And
Hildebrand, he's been chronically injured
on the actual Atlanta United roster. So I'm fine with parting ways with him. But Michael Parkhurst, he's a free agent, but I read another Dirty South Soccer. It's a shrewd article. It was a shrewd business move because there's a way that if Parkhurst got picked up by Cincinnati, even though he's so old, because he's a free agent, he would still just be able to sign with Atlanta United if he wanted to.
Okay. Here are the by default guys that were on that. So George Bello, Andrew Carlton, Chris Goslin, Patrick Okonkwo, Miles Robinson, and Gordon Wild. So either Generation Adidas guys or homegrown players are protected by default.
Yep.
Yeah, that's to Bill's point. Hildebrand is just bait for Cincinnati to take him back and to grab him from us. I don't know.
So the other thing is that Atlanta United did this with LAFC last year. Is they negotiated a deal that they would just leave all our players alone. And that's potentially what.
And we sent him an international slot, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, some backdoor deal, collusion, and all that.
Who do you think, if you were to, let's go top 3 off of that list that you think would be ripe for the taking for Cincinnati and be a good fit?
Oh, Brandon Vasquez. I think that Brandon Vasquez.
Brandy V?
Yeah.
This isn't who you want to go. This is like if you were Cincinnati, who would you take? Who would be your top 3 picks out of
You're talking about Brandon Vasquez is still a really promising talent.
I agree.
He's 20 years old.
Vasquez is one of mine.
He's a versatile player. Honestly,
Vasquez, Awo would be my second.
Yeah, but also Michael Parkhurst.
You just run such a high risk reward scenario for Parkhurst and Jeff.
You do, but you think about us as an expansion team. They're not even an expansion team, but what he brought to us, ushering in a new era and really dominating. I think he still has. I know he wants to play at least one more year, and he's still playing at a high level. Well, Cincinnati would be.
I don't think
smart to do that.
We're negotiating a new contract.
That's what I understand. Is we let him go into free agency. I thought to get him kind of protected, right?
Yes.
In a way.
Yeah, I don't think Parkhurst is going, but if I could get him, yeah, absolutely, Tim. I would go. I think Mikey Ambrose is a good guy.
Ambrose is my third, yeah.
And then also Kevin Kratz. I pick up Kevin Kratz because, I mean, he could start for half the MLS.
He definitely could.
Also,
Kratz has got another good 2 or 3 years in him easily.
I know you guys hate him, but Chris McCann would probably be a decent pickup for a team. He's got a little bit of veteran now. He can play a bunch of different positions. He might be able to solidify a defense.
What about Jose Hernandez? That's one that I see. The kid's got a lot of promise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they haven't really. There's not a book on him yet, apart from like USL run.
But I tend to think the only reason he didn't get playtime with us is because of how deep we ended up being at left back between Greg Garza and George Bello and at times Mikey Ambrose.
And he was injured, but I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a plethora of players that they can pick from in this expansion draft from us that I think that they would end up paying dividends for them.
Yeah,
I mean they're.
Stuck 2011, not a breaking rumor. Penny Martinez is all but confirmed to be on Atlanta United's roster next year. He's said it in multiple interviews. There's multiple articles at this point that Penny should be here for Atlanta United next year.
Holy moly. That is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Did you see? I mean, I didn't see the last leg of the Copa Libertadores, but he was their highest rated player, and he scored the dagger goal at the end.
The dagger goal is such an easy goal for him.
Oh, absolutely.
The ball pops out, the keeper's on the other end of the field, he just walks it in.
But to be the highest rated player is pretty insane.
Yeah.
In that, I can't wait to see him in Atlanta United.
I'm going to go ahead and plead ignorance that I haven't watched a ton of tape on him. I know that I've seen people say that he's arguably the biggest prospect to ever come to MLS. or not even prospect, like the biggest player to ever come to MLS in terms of his quality.
It's going to be interesting to see what the numbers are that they paid for him, because I would imagine that it's going to be more than they would pay for Barco.
Oh, without a doubt, right? Because
So is that your 3 DPs? Joseph, Pitti, and Barco now?
I think it has to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Pitty's only coming because Almiron's going to be going. I mean, Almiron made some sort of vague statement right on Saturday in the locker room saying that he wasn't sure, and then Brad Guzan was saying you're going to do great in England, or he's going to do great in England, like kind of outing it. But
Yeah. I've heard that he's just choosing which team he wants to
What
go
are your
with.
thoughts on Miggy Sale versus Alone?
well,
think
it
that's
happens a lot in
bullshit.
MLS with MLS transfers. Just due to, you see it going back and forth just because of the way that the seasons are structured. I think the rumors with Newcastle have to do with change of ownership. They're finally, I guess Mike Ashley's finally going to sell.
Or he's
Is that
open,
right?
he's
I've
open.
heard-
He's open to
I've heard so.
offers.
I think
Of
the
course he
whole
is.
of
He's a
Newcastle
money
want
grubbing
that.
cunt. Sorry, excuse my language.
Whoa,
Twat.
that is way more
Oh,
offensive than
shit.
anything I have ever said
Excuse
on
me.
this show.
Excuse me. Yeah, that's not true. Sorry, the British came out and made it. It's not that bad of a word in Britain, right?
No, it's the worst word.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah, that was kind of the worst thing ever.
Oh, fuck. I said it. See you next Tuesday.
Love you, Norma.
Oh god. Hopefully it's too loud to hear, too muddled to hear.
Norma's so woke now.
No, but for real, it's good to see Mike Ashley hopefully getting out of there. But seeing, sorry guys, jeez, guys, I think Kevin switched the champagne with
That
with
sparkling white grape juice has really gone to your head, Tim.
Four Loco, dude.
saw the Percocet and Oxycontin you've been taking.
The field is the trap is split between that was awesome and whoa.
Well, at least the true Brit in the trap, Michelle, is on
That's
board
right.
with it.
But yeah, so what are your thoughts if you could choose between a sale or a loan? Personally, is it no question for you that you would rather sell him than put him on a loan deal?
Absolutely.
Really?
I mean, if you're gonna look, don't fuck around with a loan. You either want him or you don't want him. We've got plenty of other suitors.
I don't know that I don't know that it's necessarily about the team wanting him as much as it is like Miggy and people going to play in Europe but having a fallback plan.
Right. So the fallback plan I don't like because it shows Atlanta United, if they agree to that loan, it shows Atlanta United accepts the doubt that other teams are putting into him. And if they're saying like it's a sale or no sale, it puts them it also shows that they're not going to bend to future engagements in negotiation. I feel like you either sell him or you don't. And if you don't sell him, I mean, he's welcome back here.
Yeah.
I will be so surprised if he's still around. I mean, I'll freaking love it. I mean, him. I don't
think he's around either, but I guess I see both points and both arguments. That's why I asked, like sale versus loan. It's not a matter of whether or not he deserves to go and play somewhere else. It's just my own. I don't know which way you go with that. What are your thoughts, Tim? Are you as dead set on a sale versus a loan for the same reasons as Dan is, or?
I'm definitely against it. I'd rather just flat out sell him.
Yeah,
because we deserve a bigger transfer fee for it. I think the purported 15 million.
Yeah,
is it pounds?
Yeah, it's weak. Spent $19,000.
That's
$19 million. You mean?
$19 million.
Oh, I was gonna say Brexit tank it that bad. what happened?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, it does suck. I mean, it leaves us in limbo, leaves him in limbo, and
I think that I think that tweet was bogus because I think Dubber Robertson tweeted out from the team that Atlanta United apparently haven't received any offers from Almiron. So
okay, yeah,
I
trust Doug
still
over almost anybody too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And if the team are making an official statement like that, I don't know. I just thought that was just a weird. You all right there, buddy?
I'm fine.
Good. I thought that was weird. I didn't like it at all. I could kind of understand it, but I thought that would if you're Atlanta United, I feel like you're losing the deal at that point.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you lose not just the money that we invested to bring him in here, but the amount of money and amount of time that we invested in improving his quality on the field and making him a valuable asset to anybody who really wants him. The more I watch him, the more I think that he would be fine under Unai Emery at Arsenal. I think that
I hope he doesn't go to Arsenal, but yeah,
I hope not too.
I mean, the thing is that he kind of fits that Arsenal mold. You know, they're very finesse. They're very sort of flashy. I don't know. I just don't want him to go to Arsenal.
So
I don't want to go to Man United either, or Man City. And I certainly wouldn't want him to go to Birmingham City because they've turned into the biggest pile of shit on the face of the earth.
We're at least not getting swindled the way that the parent club of New York Red Bull swindled them in the Tyler Adams transfer. They paid $2 million American dollars for arguably the most promising American prospect in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what?
Yep.
I wonder how that works. Because if MLS owns the players' contracts, who does the negotiation? You'd think it's the team, right? So it's,
but
it's weird that, I mean, I don't want to get into it because whatever, but
it's stupid. It's a silly league.
So there were some rumors about Garza, which you alluded to earlier, Dan.
Jay is going to strangle you guys for even addressing these.
No, I'm not saying that I'm addressing it. I say that to preface the next talking point that I want to start to stir the pot with, which is what surprise move could you foresee taking place in the offseason for trades or acquisitions for Atlanta United? Let's leave it to trades, that people that could potentially leave Atlanta United's lineup that people aren't necessarily recognizing or thinking about that you think would be
going like in league or out of league?
Either way.
LGP.
Where do you think? You think he'd go in league?
No, I think he'd go out of league.
Really?
I mean, he's still got a year left on his contract, but as Brian Clough would say, and I feel like Darren Eales has the same sort of mantra, every player has a price. And if you come in and you offer that price, then it's
Speaking of Brian Clough, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, Jason Longshore, you still have my copy of The Damned United.
I'm sure he's listening.
That was optimistic, thinking old Longshoe was going to be listening this far into a Home Before Dark podcast.
Do you want me to say
deep cuts,
like Gressel could go, Tito?
Yeah, I don't want any of them to go. That's the whole point of this discussion. I don't want anybody to go, but who would be a surprising?
I think it's
move
would be.
on the roster?
I could see Gressel going more than Tito because in the past it feels like half of season Tito has been coming off the bench, and I don't know if higher paying leagues would pay money for a player who's in their view just coming off the bench. I mean, it wouldn't be a price to move Atlanta United's radar to sell him. I think Gressel is probably more of someone who would potentially go to either a lower Bundesliga team or maybe even like a Fulham or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
In the Premier League. I wouldn't go to, I don't think the Atlanta United players like Gressel should waste their time with the second tier of any league in Europe.
No.
Even league championship, you don't think? Being able to help a team. It's what, the 5th or 6th highest attended league in the world, right? Week in, week out.
I don't know. Maybe who's I don't know.
Like he could help somebody like Derby County under Frank Lampard or go to Leeds. And
I'm pulling up the table now because it's whoever's in.
It's Leeds is number 1, which speaking of the Damned United, I think Frank Lampard, I believe, has Derby in 2nd. Is that right? Or in 3rd?
Frank Lampard?
Frank Lampard is the manager at Derby County, yeah.
No way. I didn't know. I don't know.
I've only been following that because Harry Wilson's on loan there.
You're totally right. I mean,
Who
Norwich, could you see him go Norwich, Leeds, Sheffield United, Derby County, West Brom, Middlesbrough.
I don't think he would play for somebody like West Brom. I know the ghost of Tony Pulis is still there, I think. I think their style of play doesn't fit him. But, I mean, the style of play of a team. We talked last year about the rumors of him going to Wolves. That would have suited him really well in the same way that they play Adama Traore. And
I could see Gressel going to like a Brighton or a Watford.
see, to me, you're asking surprising. I don't think it's going to be surprising. I have this feeling in my gut, and people have talked about it in the trap, that Gressel, I have a feeling he's going to go to somebody like Werder Bremen or Augsburg or Eintracht Frankfurt, some sort of middle of the table club in Germany. I think that he's probably going to relish that opportunity. He's come here, won Rookie of the Year. He's been a standout player for us, and to be able to go back home and be able to play for a team over there, I have a feeling something like that is in the works. It's going to happen.
That's my poll too.
Surprising. I like your poll though, Dan. I think I would be very surprised if LGP left, just because of how ingrained in this team he is, how ingrained in the city that he is, and just how happy he is here. And he's definitely the captain once Parkhurst hangs it up.
LGP would definitely be a big surprise.
But to Dan's point, there's a dearth of center backs in a lot of leagues that are competent, and he's competent on the ball. He's a good leader. I think that he would help a lot of those middle of the table clubs, or even those relegation fighting teams in England. I think that he would do a good job. He's a big ball playing center back, and
so
they're hard to come by.
The other thing is, I mean, if LGP goes, that opens up another international spot, even though we will have a total of 9 international spots back.
Yeah, because we get some back from LAFC, right?
LAFC.
We get one back from LAFC, yeah.
And yeah, that's true. And then we get one back from Portland.
Didn't we give one to Orlando too?
No, Orlando were just shit.
Yeah, well. Did you? Speaking of Portland,
so you could go back and find another. That's the whole world you're looking at.
Yeah. Speaking of Portland, did you see the? I didn't realize part of our Nagby deal and acquisition was we just paid out them $250K in TAM money for winning the cup.
Yeah,
part of our
sure take it. Portland.
Yeah, part of our agreement was if Nagby,
I have a feeling I should launch a match fixing investigation into Giovanni Severese's management of that game on Saturday. Yeah. Yes, Gressel is 24. Gressel's actually older than Tito is by a few months.
Yep.
So it's high time for him, if he wants to go try, apply his trade over in Europe, back home in Germany, to do that now. So,
all right, so let's see what all we got.
Dean Worley, I'd love Gressel to USMNT.
Geos
and LGP.
Oh my God. I would probably support the USMNT a lot more.
LGP and Matt Miazga in the back. Yeah, give me that all day long.
Yeah.
Jay Gressel is a guy worth $750 a year, salary that won't get close to that in the next year or two in MLS because of MLS. So if a European club sees that, they'll snatch him. Agree. Read that stuff. I can't do that with my voice right now.
What stuff?
That's a good point from Gregory Fraser. Is Gregory Fraser been in the trap before?
Yeah.
Okay. My bad. I'm terrible at showing
and that
up.
Little picture of him and his son, he's wearing a Home Before Dark hat.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's obviously a very handsome and intelligent man. If we can get something for Gressel, you almost have to do it because it's going to be really difficult to sign him to a second deal. That is a little true. Though, yeah, you're not going to DP Gressel, are you?
No.
Oh, yeah, it'd be nice to know what the extent, the time frames of these contracts are. He's probably got another year. Did they exercise an option? Did we see that?
I believe they did, yeah. Otherwise, he would be on his butt.
He's probably got a year.
Most likely, yeah. I don't know. It's tough. It's gonna be interesting to see the squad next year. I mean, from your standpoint, who are some standout players next year, or players next year that you see are going to get a lot of shine that we should be on the lookout for? Or that
Barco.
I think that's probably the obvious one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, with the absence of Miguel Almiron,
I think Barco makes a huge impact next year.
Barco, George Bello,
absolutely. That's a really great call.
I think, obviously, Pity Martinez.
Well, yeah.
So there's other, like Gordon Wild. He would be an interesting guy.
He played really well with Battery, didn't he?
He did play very well in Battery. It would be interesting if he gets a start. Kunga Squad.
Yep.
Yes, Kunga squad. He got into the 18 towards the end of the season, playing his ass
Kunga.
off.
Elliot B even mentions Miles Robinson. Isn't Miles Robinson part of that 14 that's available for expansion draft too?
No, I didn't see his
No.
name.
He's a Generation Adidas player. He's protected by
Gotcha.
default. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Romario leave.
Or Romario was one of them. I got them mixed up. Romario
Lagos to kind of take his place.
Yeah.
I didn't watch many ATL2 games. So
Kunga's pretty deadly on the wing. I think that he's. I'm excited to see him in the squad.
I mean, Carlton, obviously, it'd be interesting to see how he does next year. If he can stay out the freaking drinking bars. Jeez. Drunk Andrew Carlton.
The beer pubs, if he could stay out of
the beer pubs.
Carlton.
The brown liquor Carlton there.
Carlton is always a co-host spot with your name on it here on the Home Before Dark Network.
I
You
don't
just say
think
the
he
word.
drinks.
You weren't
to be
here
honest
last
with
week
you.
for Brown Liquor Kevin in person. That was you were on the other side of town.
Oh,
but
that's right. Yeah.
you were remote. It was something. It was a sight to behold. Let us know in the trap if you guys want to see Brown Liquor Kevin return. Did we protect him from the
You guys didn't
from the expansion
You guys
draft?
didn't re-up.
All right. Dean Worley, as far-fetched as it sounds, Timothy, can we land Assad again?
No,
I think he has to
put it to bed. It's done. It's over.
He has to decline his option, right? Or he has to decline to re-sign with DC United. I think they own his rights right now.
That's right. They do own his rights.
Jay, just reminding me, even Brown Liquor Kevin doesn't use the C word.
That's a good point.
Very true. So, Assad, I think there is still a slight
Just let it go.
possibility to bring him back.
No, it's over.
It's over. As much as I want it, as much as I want Yamil Assad to come back, Baby Shark, he's gone. He just gotta. So my mom told me this. So it's kind of interesting when you leave the country that you grew up in and you leave your parents there, and it's kind of emotional. But
yeah, it sounds pretty heartless of you to leave them over there like that.
I had
in that third world country
to fend for themselves in Brexit.
Look, don't start bringing them over here too. We got enough of you, okay?
Since I've had my own children, I've kind of thought like, oh my God, what if they move to Australia? That'd be terrible. But my mom said, you just got to let your kids go. And since when you have kids and you kind of think about that, it really tugs at the heartstrings. But Emil Assad, you just got to let them go.
Yeah, people want to talk about the justice system in Texas, but they did us a solid this past weekend.
What did they do? When
they granted a stay of release for Dean Worley to make his way over to Atlanta United versus Portland Timbers on Saturday.
All right, so
do you mean the DOJ?
Yeah, even though he's a flight risk, we know Dean is a flight risk.
That's what was on his ankle. Right.
Yeah.
No, that was an ankle. So like a charm bracelet. It's an ankle charm bracelet. Pandora.
God. The last fun little thing I wanted to do tonight is way too early predictions. You cannot choose Atlanta United. Your pick to win the cup next year. Can't pick Atlanta United. Who would it be? DC United. I'll start it off.
Oh.
Speaking of Yamil Assad, I think depends on how healthy Rooney stays next season. Seeing the uptick in momentum that they had, talking about building momentum into next season, I think they've got a lot riding going into that. I can see them being at the top of the board in the Eastern Conference next year and making a run for it next year.
Bill Holcomb, LAFC.
I think that was going to be my pick as well. I mean, if you look at the trajectory, and I mean, if you look at us from last year, this year, they were in a better spot in their first year than we were.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I mean,
they're a good team. I don't like Bob Bradley.
I don't like him either.
Do you give Galaxy a shot next year?
No.
No, I no, because Zlatan's going to go back to AC Milan, right?
Oh, is he?
I heard he was going somewhere else. It doesn't matter. Oh yeah, sorry. AC
Milan.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think you could write off. Well, who were Red Bulls losing? Tyler Adams.
Oh my God, Elliot Beeman. We need mods in the trap so bad.
Elliot Beebe, get the fuck out.
We need mods so bad.
Okay, in my face, apparently AC Milan said that Ibrahimovic isn't coming back. So if he's back there, I think that, I mean, Ashley Cole's likely gone, right? They're going to start cleaning house a little bit and bringing in.
They build a team around Zlatan if he stays.
I don't think he's staying, though.
I don't either.
I think he's there and he's like, I mean, he got so bored during a match, he like punched a guy in the back.
Karate chopped homeboy in the neck.
He's like, this isn't not holding my attention.
Yeah.
But he did give us 2 of the best goals all season this year, though.
I mean, if you count Joseph Martinez's record-breaking goal against some shitty purple team.
I mean, it's great, but the karate kick goal and the goal from the 50-yard line is pretty fucking incredible.
I'll probably go with. Damn it! I was going to.
So you're wondering who Red Bulls are losing?
Red
Bulls are losing Tyler Adams. There's potential that they might let go of. If I understand right, maybe they're thinking about getting rid of Bradley Wright Phillips.
I was going to say how old are
he's aging, and that's not really their MO.
Yeah. That's where
I don't really think Etienne Jr. would really do a good job replacing Bradley Wright Phillips.
I mean, he's a DP, so you go out and get a DP. I mean, Aaron Long, Tim Parker in the back, if you can hold that defense together.
Kamar Lawrence, if he could stay healthy.
Lawrence, if he stays.
That's true,
too. You pull up the final standings for MLS. This might be a better way to do it. I think we've all said our teams that we think would potentially be at the top. Let's see who's our biggest movers and shakers going into next season. Who do we think, even if they don't win the cup next year, people that may be in the bottom of the standings this year that we think could be at the top, or teams at the top that we expect to see a little bit of a nosedive out of next year?
So Dan, you still haven't said who do you pick to win MLS Cup and or Supporter Shield next year, if not for Atlanta United?
I'll go Portland.
Portland.
I feel like Savarese has got something going. I think the trash that is Liam Ridgewell is not coming back. If they can get another defensive rock or a better defensive rock, then the guy who wipes his ass with $20 notes and posts it on social media, then
is that for Ridgewell?
Yeah. The only thing is that they're not going to have the money that Atlanta United have to pull guys in. But I can see Portland. I do rate Savarese. I think he's a very good manager. I think he can get a lot out of a little.
He did a great job turning that team around after kind of a shit start.
Yeah,
because he
absolutely did.
He had a lot of work put in front of him, and all credit to Gio for getting to the final too, because that team was so ingrained with the DNA of Caleb Porter. And then for him to take that over, right the ship after kind of a shaky start, and then get them to the final is pretty damn impressive. Who's Pikachu from Orlando City? Who are they talking about?
I don't know. I keep saying my love of Pokemon and my hatred of Orlando is tearing me apart every time they reference it. I don't know what the player's name is. Jay, who is it?
I have no idea. They're talking about the guy who got traded from Dallas to Orlando. I can't remember.
Wait.
That's his name?
No.
I know PC got traded from Orlando to Vancouver.
You're lying.
Poku?
Yago Pikachu.
Remember Poku from Miami? Miami FC?
Okay.
No fucking way.
I might need to get an Orlando City jersey next year. If that's the case.
There's no way that guy is
Kevin, if I see you in Orlando City jersey, I'm gonna punch you square in the mouth.
That's his nickname, guys.
I know I'd never see
his name is Glapson Yago Souza Lisboa. It's a nickname.
Oh yeah, but is he Brazilian? All the Brazilians
He's Peruvian.
Put their,
he's Peruvian.
Their nicknames on their jerseys.
He played in Brazil, or he played in Peru. He's from Belém,
See,
Brazil.
Y'all are just fucking up.
I don't think that's his name because I don't think Orlando can have
A Yoshi and a
Interesting.
Pikachu.
In a Disney
Oh
town.
yeah. Do you see they didn't protect Christian Higuita, the best midfielder
Oh, yeah,
in the
he's
world?
amazing.
Surprising. Who did they protect?
I like what Connor Thompson just said. If you lose your beard privileges or your beard rights.
Okay. I can at least do some fun artwork with a Pikachu and a Yoshi for next year's Orlando matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Orlando do in the off season. I think they're another I don't think they're making the playoffs this year. I mean, I pegged
Orlando?
them to make the playoffs this year, but
What about Chicago?
that sort of shit.
Let's go from the bottom up. Orlando, you think they stay near the bottom?
Cellar dwellers.
Yeah,
Chicago,
I do.
cellar dwellers.
Yeah.
Toronto,
They're
top
up. They're going up.
top 3.
Going up for sure.
Is Altidore staying?
I don't know if it really matters. Honestly, I think you put Telfer up there, and I think they'll have a better season next year. I think they got
I
off to a
could see
really
them
shit
going,
start,
yeah.
having that CCL hangover. New England,
Staying middle of the pack.
yeah. Montreal, I think go higher. That's signing a Maxi Rudy alongside Ignacio Piatti.
Agree.
Or no, wait, did Piatti retire? Did he leave? Or he's still there?
No, I think he's still there. I haven't heard.
Okay,
that
put a
he
Rudy
retired.
next to Piatti. That's a pretty formidable attacking mid.
Saputo's lost patience now. He wants to spend money. He wants to get them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a playoff team next year. Philly, I think, are on the up and up. Columbus down and down. Yeah.
DC up, NYC down. Atlanta United, I will say down potentially.
Well, we've won everything. Well, we've won
I just think it's going to be a weird. I think it's going to be a weird hangover year. It's not to say we don't have a run at it. I'm just saying final standings in point totals.
I don't think we win the supporter shield.
I don't think we're a supporter shield team
But I
necessarily next year, but I think we're still in the run and in the mix for playoff contention. So
I think we make the playoffs.
absolutely, we're definitely a playoff team, even with the changes. And Red Bulls, I think, may drop a spot or two.
I think
to make room for that DC and Toronto surge.
I
next
think
year.
they're the bottom, like Montreal, Philly, New York, NYCFC, Toronto playoff mix.
You also got
bottom part.
to, you also got to think about the fact that Atlanta United very well may have the Toronto syndrome next year if we go deep in CONCACAF between Campeones Cup, CONCACAF, Open Cup. We will be the team with the most games slated on their schedule next season.
Well, first off, Open Cup, just play Carlton for that one.
Just him. Just
Just
a
him.
starting one.
Just
So
him.
you throw that one
If he
away.
can sober up enough.
Exactly. If he can sober up.
He's just maybe he's getting ready for maybe he's getting acquired by Orlando. I hear they have openings
That's right.
for
Just wait for his first DUI and then it's all done.
Oh dear God. No.
I
Oh,
think
God.
that yeah. What was I going to say? Okay, so that's what I was going to say. Open Cup, yeah, forget about that. But the Champions League, do you say another one?
Campeones Cup.
Campeones Cup. Yeah,
we
that's
play.
gonna be a focus.
host
We
it.
play River Plate in Campeones Cup.
I have no idea. Is there a schedule out for that?
Somebody in the trap will know. I don't know who we play. I think so. Because they just won, right?
The Copa Libertadores?
Liga MX
We play the
champions.
Liga MX champion, which is Tigres, right? No.
Don't know.
Oh, the winner of Cruz Azul in America. All right.
Ooh, both of those are tough.
Are you guys going to? So Michael Ruiz is asking, just to kind of solidify this, because I don't necessarily agree with you guys. Does what makes y'all feel like we would be worse? Pity replaces Martinez, or Pity replaces Miggy, and we have a third year of roster continuity. Who would leapfrog us? Who's the only team? DC.
DC, potentially Toronto. I think if there's something to be said, not necessarily about the roster or the lineup, but all the things that take place throughout that. Because I think that if you think Atlanta is a team that's at the top of the conference, you also, by the transitive property, assume that they're going to go deep in CONCACAF.
What that means? Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Sports math means that if you think that they're good here, then obviously they're good there. So if you think they're going to have to compete in the Eastern Conference and be at the top, you would think that they'd go pretty deep in CONCACAF. Those extra games, the extra wear and tear on the players, I think that all of that combined with a new coach, some new personnel, some new chemistry to build up, even though these are good players. We saw that with Barco. Barco's a good player, doesn't necessarily mean that he perform to that level out the gate. So I think there's going to be a little bit of growing pains and stuff versus teams that have a pretty solid foundation. And if those parts and pieces are carrying forward into next season, I think we do get potentially jumped by DC United or Toronto. So.
Jonas, is that a question or is it a statement? He said what Kevin is saying.
I think he's saying he agrees with what I'm saying.
I'm not used to that.
I've got a hot take.
It's weird. Dan agreed with me last year.
Did you say
Jonas,
you got hot snakes?
Hot snakes.
Oh.
It's the fuck. What is this? Champagne. Gets you bubble guts.
I think
the bubble guts.
I think the Champions League could be where Barco finally comes out and has his moments, since he's playing against South American teams.
I mean, he's used to it, I guess. Showing out. Yeah, we are playing against Costa Rican teams.
Brittany S agrees. We will not get a first round bye.
Yeah.
I don't think we go to the bottom. I think we're in that third, fourth, maybe fifth place.
Do we want to hit the West?
If we're in third or fourth, I'm happy with that. I don't want to be in the knockout round of playoffs.
Well, you would be with the third and fourth.
Are those knockout?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You host the knockout rounds.
I'm so stupid.
I'm
so stupid. Yes.
Yes. Position is going to get
that's right.
About a bye.
That's right.
A bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Okay. So, all right. San Jose.
Oh, shit. We're going to the
Western Conference. San Jose is better than they were last year.
With Almeida.
I just don't think that they're going to stay at the bottom.
The new coach. I think that they are playoff contention.
Ooh.
Colorado Rapids.
You said that they're playoff contention?
With Almeida? Yes.
Can Colorado just get Howard off of their team?
Bottom.
If they can get Howard off their team, I think they might have a shot at.
No, they do. Tim Howard, I believe, is going to play for the team that he owns, which is Memphis FC.
And they traded Zach McMahon.
They pick up so much. They pick up so much cash there to potentially rebuild. I don't know that I'm necessarily sold on them going to the bottom. They may go up one or two spots. I don't think that they climb all the way to the top, but I think that's huge for them considering how much they're paying him right now.
I think they're at the bottom. That's fine. We can disagree.
Oh, no.
Minnesota United. Can't stand Adrian Heath. I think he's bullshit.
They did a really poor job this season trading away Christian Ramirez.
Yeah, I mean, Adrian Heath just bitches and moans about the referees and the decisions and players tying up their shoes, and I can't stand him. So I think it's going to be a shootout.
Patrick Hansel's saying that Colorado picked up Tim Howard's option. I could have swore he was going to go play because he's a partial owner of Memphis FC. I thought for some reason he was going to go play for them.
He's trying to do a Didier Drogba.
Yeah,
he's not that good. I think Minnesota and Colorado are going to fight it out for the bottom of the West. Houston Dynamo, damn, they finished 9th.
Yeah,
good Lord, how the mighty fell.
They've got to go up.
New manager.
Ellis is too good for them to be that low.
I think they go above the next team, Vancouver, and Vancouver are kind of around the bottom too.
Galaxy, depending on what happens with Zlatan, you saw them rise from the bottom up to that middle standing. If they keep him and maybe get a couple other pieces around him, I think they may go up one or two spots. I don't see them taking the top spot in the West, but depending on what happens around him.
Good shout if Zlatan stays. I don't think he does. I think they stay a middling team.
I agree.
Real Salt Lake, I think they're going to be up. I think they're going to be top 4.
Yep.
Portland Timbers, I think they will be 1 or 2. FC Dallas, I think they remain the same, about 4th. LAFC, I'll agree with you guys, fighting out for 1 or 2.
I think they're going up.
Seattle, I think they're down.
Yep.
I think they're mid-table.
Agreed.
And SKC, I'd say maybe top 3.
Because SKC hasn't lost any pieces, to my understanding.
I don't think they have. They have just generally been a well-run, managed team and have been able to keep it
Cincinnati.
Together. I love that. I was about to say that's a great point. Where does Cincinnati fall into the mix?
I think they are above Minnesota, and I think they are lower middle.
Well, Cincinnati's going to be in the East.
Yeah, but when you combine tables,
I think they're going to be.
He's making a bullshit because he did not think that through at all.
No, I didn't. I was like,
if I just talk around this enough, you won't realize.
Well, they're going to be better than Orlando. I'd say,
but they don't have the history, so how could they be?
Oh, that's right. God, it's going to be interesting talking. You know what? I think that we can help. Oh, in Nashville. Holy shit.
No, that's 2020.
Oh.
If they can get their shit together and get their stadium financed and everything.
That's not happening. So is 2020 Nashville and Miami coming?
Yes.
Okay. And then one more in the West, right?
Yes. Oh, that's 2021.
I'd say middle table, lower middle. Eighth.
Okay.
I at least think that they finish.
Is the schedule up yet?
Orlando.
When do
No,
we get a schedule? I'm ready to see when our game is against Nashville.
I hate their new logo. I wish they'd stuck with their old one.
Who, FC Cincinnati?
Yeah. Whoa.
I haven't seen it. You pull it up?
So go to their
No, I don't want Nashville in the West. I like that Nashville will be in the East.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
I imagine we'll end up having some sort of restructuring. Actually, I'm not even positive. I might be talking
Don
about my
Garber did
ass.
say that he's planning to cap the league at 28 games. That came out this past week in the State of the League address.
28 teams.
What did I say? 28 leagues?
Yeah.
28 teams. Yeah.
All right, 28 games is what you said.
Okay. Which that's another thing. We don't know definitively yet what's going to happen with the restructuring of the games in the playoffs next year either. So we should be getting updates on that any day now.
Wait, no, Brittany is saying that Cincinnati, she thought that Cincinnati was in West. Maybe they are, but that would make 13 teams.
No. You're right. They're in the East because the West has 12. The East is.
And then we're going to restructure probably after that because the East is going to pick up 2 more teams between Nashville and Miami.
Unless there is a West team.
And St. Louis, too, is going to end up most likely getting an MLS franchise from what I understand.
Interesting. So right now we're at 23 teams.
Wait. Go to the Cincinnati logo. Now I definitely need to see it.
So the first one, yes, it does. And it's nice.
Yes, I like that.
What?
Oh, that is so good.
Which one?
The Cincinnati logo. Pull it out. You got a window open here, Tim.
I don't think Tim's showing you the right one.
Oh, yes. I love me a good Netherlands logo.
That one?
Oh, yeah.
No. Tim, go Google their old one. Kevin, you'll see this and then you're like, oh, the old one is far superior.
Ooh.
That is better. But where's the other one? Scroll down.
I like these. I like all of these. Oh, that is so good.
Yeah. They should have stuck with that one.
Oh,
go to that one. Go to that one.
Freaking awesome.
Look at that. That is.
I liked that first one though with the orange background. That's awesome.
But it's better than what they got now.
Yeah, that's way better than what they have now. Either way, I still like it. Y'all know I love me some Netherlands. So.
Mm-hmm.
And Clampson. Clampson.
Clampies.
Jay, somebody get Kevin a Kleenex.
All right. So what else are we going to talk to? Oh, we
have iTunes ratings and reviews, by the way.
Oh my gosh, this pod's going to be like 4 hours long. I have an interesting conversation that came up, if we're okay to change subjects. Interesting conversation that was put to me by some people at work. What is the MLS championship worth to you? Would you give up
a third of my liver? Check.
Would you give up 5 MLS championships for a World Cup?
No.
For the U.S. men's team?
Yeah.
Fuck yes, I would.
No.
Would you give it up for another?
Kevin's not that heavily invested in the national team, though.
I know it. I'm finished.
I'm not invested. It's the same thing with...
Would you
would I give up 5 Clemson national championships for 1 Falcons championship? No.
Would you give up 5? And that means you would have no Atlanta United championships.
Right.
So would you give up 5 for another Clemson title?
No, because I'm not going to have to.
That's not how hypotheticals work, Kevin.
Would I give up 5 Atlanta United championships for 1 Clemson?
Yes.
No, I would not do that.
So you would prefer Clemson has 0 and Atlanta United has 5?
I would. And it's been a tough thing for me to address and to come to terms with over this season.
Are we saying we have to vacate the one from Saturday? Or are you talking about if we had another 5?
You have nothing.
Oh, no, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Someone was like, they were putting to me, and I've thought about it. Like, if I could give up Atlanta United champ, even if I gave up one Atlanta United championship for an England World Cup, I wouldn't do it, because Atlanta United, I am completely invested in. It's my number one team, and no team that I have followed has done this well.
It has infiltrated all assets of my life now.
Yeah.
That's been the biggest difference maker for me between, like, of course I love Clemson and I'm such a big fan and follower, and I owe so much of where I am now based off of my experience there. But I can say the same thing in the past 2 years for Atlanta United, and the people that I associate with and that we're friends with is because of this team, this podcast, everything else around it. It's been great. Clemson is not that good. 5 stars to it.
Elliot Beavan, if England won the World Cup, would you give up Atlanta winning the cup?
Oh my God, Dean.
I would not.
You guys
Clemson's going to lose to... No, it's
this is the worst Clemson podcast ever.
Notre Dame.
This is the best timeline.
All right, cool. So
I would give up all the Clemson national championships for another Atlanta United championship. Even a U.S. Open Cup. I would give up 1981, and I would give up 2016 or 2017, whatever it was, for U.S. Open Cup. The Lamar Hunt Trophy. Bring it home. It's coming home, boys.
I would give up all Auburn trophies ever in every sport ever for one Orlando City championship.
I would give up all the U.S. World Cups for one. Oh, no, wait a second. Anyway, so the other thing I wanted to talk about, managers. We spoke last week about GBS. We spoke last week about Jorge Sampaoli. Interestingly enough, I was reading more about Sampaoli and reading articles on why he would not be a good fit for the USMNT and sort of trying to understand what happened in the World Cup. I think that the full picture has not been written or painted. And I think that he would actually be a decent value option because his stock is down right now. And we don't... Did you just mute me? I think he has...
No, nobody muted you.
He's still... No, okay. I think he could be a decent shout because of his experience. Now, I did read some stuff about, like, there's in his international game, like, he's got weird defensive strategies, and he is not defensive enough. And that's one thing that I feel like won us the title, is our defensive strength. But his club game is a little bit better, where he's got time to sort of strike relationships with the players. And if you're dealing with superstars like Lionel Messi, then even a greater man can get overruled by him and by the Argentine Football Association. So I think Sampaoli is probably a decent shout. So the other thing I was looking at was comparing. So I was looking at Sampaoli. I think he would be a decent shout. GBS. I was comparing Atlanta United's characteristics now to Boca Juniors' characteristics. So,
but doesn't Pity Martinez have some bad blood with?
Yeah, but he's gonna be fine.
GBS.
He's gonna be fine. So,
wait, what does that matter? Pity plays for River Plate,
right? Because they're rivals,
right?
But they both.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But similarities. Strength in Atlanta United and Boca Juniors both finish scoring chances. Remember when we were talking about that it was a good idea to finish your scoring chances? Defending set pieces, protecting the league, and the style of play, the similarities are attempting through balls often and playing in their own half. The interesting thing about GBS is he likes to rotate their first 11. And what we criticized Martino quite often, that he would not do that. He would not rotate and he would not play the kids. Now, I'm wondering how much of that was because he is trying to develop this team. And if you are that early and you do not have a defined style dedicated to the league yet, that maybe if you rotated a lot, you would be a detriment to the quick build of the team.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that he could do that. My only thing is I don't think he has well, I mean, he's had the big game experience as manager, GBS. And I don't think that he like tanked it or anything, because the first leg at home in Boca, that was a 2-2 draw. And then on the road, they were both on the road in Madrid.
Yeah, Bernabeu.
Even though they both lost. Boca Juniors lost. It was still a tightly contested game, and the scoreline of 3-1 is a little bit like we were saying earlier. Pity Martinez's dagger at the end was pretty, it was kind of like an open goal shot. So there are interesting similarities. Obviously, his style fits with what Atlanta United is trying to do. I am concerned comparing Tata Martino's experienced tactics with GBS's. I think he's like 5 years experience of managing. That's my concern. Yeah. But maybe he is the guy. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe you don't need all that experience to continue something. You're not building something from the ground up. You're trying to continue and build upon a foundation that's already been built.
What'll be interesting to see, both with Pitti and with whoever comes in to fill the coaching position, is what precedents have been set with the staff and personnel that Atlanta United has employed so far. So the thought is, because we've paid so much for Barco, that we're automatically going to pay exponentially more for a player like Pitti. Because of Tata Martino's contract, is it assumed that we're going to pay that much for another manager untested?
What? You saying GBS is untested?
Right. Well, what I mean is, like, how do you trade just in general, whether it's GBS or Sampaoli? Like, do you pay them the same amount as what you paid Tata, considering all the things that Tata had to do and put into place and in motion from scratch? You have a new coach that's coming in and, yes, shaping some of the team, but a lot of that stuff is already in place. And how much does that mean to you in dollars and cents? You know what I mean?
I think this point in time, this inflection point, is more critical than when we hired Martino to build this team, because I think it's easier to build on a blank slate, but I think it's exponentially harder.
I agree.
To compound the success the team has.
It's a great point.
And to keep it going.
It's a great point.
So I would say they'd probably pay him more.
So then that I think answers your question about GBS with his lack of experience.
But I don't know whether he needs the same amount of experience to build the team from the ground up. Maybe he has the right,
but it's not just that. But what about it? It's not just about his experience from a coaching standpoint, but his experience and recognition from a player and recruiting standpoint, because we know so much of what Atlanta United was able to do with the front office and with getting signings like Barco and Miggy and Martinez was based off of the Tata Martino name. Is GBS going to bring you that the same way that Sampaoli is going to?
No, but I think this is where I think the Almiron deal is so big, and so important for Atlanta United, and so important to not agree to a loan, because that precedent is going to show these top players in Argentina that Atlanta United is a legitimate stepping stone. Because, I mean, that's how we've built it. That's how we've sold it to players. But now we've actually got to show that we can do it.
Right. So should we get into ProRel for MLS now?
Yes.
I'm just joking. Since we're coming up on 2 hours, you want to round this thing off with these iTunes ratings and reviews, Tim?
Yeah, I do like the shot for Gabriel Heinze for manager.
Wow, I haven't heard that one.
Some potential. I've seen shot in the dark kind of rumors. He's, if you want to talk about relatively untested as a manager.
Where's he been at?
He's down in Argentina, right? If I'm not mistaken, hold on. I could pull it up real quick. Kind of an Argentina legend or what have you. Legend, I guess. I don't know. Is he managing Velez? Yeah, he's managing Velez right now. So where, that's right, where Assad is, or where Assad is contracted, and where Assad's dad was a legend at. But I don't know. It would be interesting. He definitely is a kind of a big personality. Maybe not in the same way that Sampaoli is, but
Dirty Bird person only negative about Sampaoli is no 5 stripes Messi. Would you guys take Messi at this point?
fuck, are you kidding? You realize he is
what?
He is only he's my age.
I know. I get all of that.
People, Messi's having a down year. Suarez is having a down year. They're number 1 and 2 in goals.
I'm not talking about
in Spain.
I'm not talking about them or their talent level. It's not that. It's about what Atlanta United's managed to do so far and to build success without having to pay for the Zlatan or the Wayne Rooney or the Lionel Messi. It's not about their quality. Clearly, he's a great player. What I mean is signing a Messi or Rooney or Zlatan a step backwards for what Atlanta United has managed to do so far.
Messi, Rooney, yes. Zlatan, yes. Messi, no.
Okay.
Messi's still one of the 2 transcendent players on the planet. So
fair point.
All right, I get to read this review because you guys just talked for a half hour.
I'm sorry, it was more Dan than me, but go ahead.
All right, this is ridiculous. We got to fix the iTunes iPod or the podcast app so we can sort this. More plastic than a Lego factory. 5 stars by Alex B. He said, I've been waiting a while to post this review, but as it's Cup Week, I figured it was time. This is a podcast more plastic than the women on Real Housewives of Atlanta. These hosts rarely show up, and the schedule seems to be organized by the folks who organize the MARTA timetables. 3 quote-unquote hosts, Kevin, Tim, and Dan? And then in parentheses, I've listened since May of 2017, and I'm not sure this Dan guy exists outside of being a foreign accent pasty white Tupac hologram who Kevin and Tim use to be more quote-unquote diverse. Apparently, quote-unquote talk and discuss about Atlanta United. This show immediately raises in quality when its plastic motley crew of pretend quote-unquote supporters are trying to get a buzz on rather than when all 2, I refuse to believe Dan is real and holograms can't get drunk, hosts are sober. If you want quality Transformers discussion, tactics, hot takes, or any discussion at all about Atlanta United, do not listen to this podcast. I really think this podcast is for a niche crowd of architect alcoholics who like trying to make it clear to their friends that they are in fact architects. Yes, it's been my life.
This show has had every bit of that in it. We talked about the ADA shit, everything else on there.
I think I've had and listened to more engaging and intelligent conversations with college freshmen who were crossfaded for the first time than I've ever heard here. Do not listen. Go ahead and read Jaden Smith's Twitter feed from 2016 because that will give you more insight on Atlanta United than this podcast has / ever will. I put in a bunch of emojis for the host to read for this review, but that would let them get away with filling up more empty airtime, and I'm not going to give them that satisfaction.
How many stars?
5.
Jay Riddle, my HB4D review needs more Dan talking in Russian accents, more C words from Tim, and more brown liquor Kevin.
Am I going to pass this around, or you just want me to read the other two?
No, go ahead.
Okay, world class, 5 stars by Justin in Chi City.
I want to read one.
Okay, you can read the top one. It's a redo, I guess. We are truly blessed to have such world-class talent to talk about our little team. I wish the Dunwoody Gator Club could get such talent.
Fucking hell, I know what that is.
And then the top one is you, Dan. And it is a re-review by this guy or gal.
Swicker for life.
Pretty sure that's Rob Swick.
Getting more polished every show. Thanks. I like that. Dan 2-pack hologram James.
Yeah.
That's what my children call me.
But I agree
you got
with
that Thug Life tattoo.
I agree with Dirty Bird Person where I thought it was a hologram of John Oliver. My bad.
I am tired. Holy shit.
It's been a hell of a
Have you guys
season.
sobered up yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just about. Oh, I've been drinking my
What do you mean from this?
local Georgia Montaigne.
This is basically just LaCroix with an alcohol spritzer.
It's a LaCroix liqueur.
It's 12% alcohol in this whole bottle, which Dan and I managed to finish. But
Holla.
it's like we both had 2 beers.
It's 12% body blood alcohol level.
It's actually 12% brute cologne mixed into champagne flavored liqueur.
Funny story. Brute is not cologne. It's aftershave.
Oh,
And my dad used to carry, because being in the military, my dad was always clean shaven going to work. He would have a bottle in his console in his car, and one day it just poured out. And for months, it smelled gloriously of brute in that Oldsmobile. Oh God, what kind of car was that? It had weapons grade air conditioning in it. Like pretty sure they took some sort of restrictor plate off. It freeze.
Good God!
It's like whenever you turn a the keyboard,
the
air
keyboard
thing,
spray. You just touch
turn
the
it
bottom
upside
of it,
down and then you
snap
spray it.
locks off of the door.
It's a real America right there. Kevin and Dan need to play it safe and crash on Tim's casting couch. Thanks, Kendra Brock.
That's a good point. After Dark episode coming up next.
After Dark.
Oh, Orlando, it's gonna be fun next season. I wonder if they'll beat us next season.
No,
Do you think we'll play them 3 times again with Cincinnati coming in?
I doubt it.
I hope
Just
not.
2.
And then we won't have some team just left out of the final day of the season like Real Salt Lake was this year.
Yeah.
It was very odd.
Yeah, it really was.
I don't even know how you do that math to get everybody the same amount of games played, and then they don't play on the last day.
All right, so the season may be over. The cup may be won. We have a break until preseason starts. We got about a month and a half. That doesn't mean that Home Before Dark or its content providers will stop working in the meantime. You can check out Unrelegated, a podcast with Jay Riddle and Kelly Francis.
Buy 2 people for 2 people for all the people
with 1 cup.
1 cup.
And you can check out
1 cup of Kelly's wine.
Yeah. 1 bottle. You can check out Mills Has Freds with our buddy Christian Mills. And we're going to keep coming back. We've got some fun shows, some fun characters lined up. We'll open up the call lines one night. We didn't do a Thanksgiving things we're thankful for show like we did last year where we called in.
I'm thankful for Atlanta United winning the fucking cup.
No
man.
shit, man. So yeah, we want to make sure that you guys all have a voice. And thanks to everybody that sent us Instagram story posts. That was a lot of fun doing that leading up to the cup. We had a lot of fun putting that together. And we got a couple other shows. The schedule is going to be a little bit more sparse with the holidays. Clemson has a national championship to win, so there's playoffs to be seen there. I know a lot of you Dog fans will be paying attention whenever they play. No, never mind. Sorry.
Did Bama drop out?
No.
Oh. What are you talking about then?
You know, they oh wait, no, they didn't lose to Georgia, so that's why they stayed in the playoffs.
I was talking about you thinking Clemson was going to win.
Oh, fuck. I thought you were talking Georgia. Anyway, yes, we have some more shows lined up in the coming weeks. It won't be a regular show, but be sure to stay tuned to Twitter or on YouTube. You hit that little bell icon and the subscribe button, and you will get notifications whenever we do go live. Be sure to leave those ratings or reviews, however many stars or words they may be, to hear them read aloud on the show. You can find all of us on Twitter. Dan, where can they find you at?
You can find me at DNJMS.
Tim.
You can find me at TIMHERB.
Find me as well at Home Before Dark. That's home before spelled being the number 4, and dark. Rarely on my personal account anymore these days. I just use the HB4D platform to say anything I want to say.
You say, "Ooh, look at all them followers."
That's what
Ooh.
I'm in
More
this,
people to listen to my bullshit.
I'm in this zone where I'm above 250 and then I'm below 250 and then I'm above 250 and then I'm below 250.
Hey, Michelle ordered a Kings of the South hat from Angie's Etsy shop today.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
Just like this guy right here.
You got the Kings of the South hats and shirts in agkakoma.etsy.com. Be sure to help pay for that wedding.
And she put up hoodies yesterday she put a star on the
nice
on the crown.
You could check out Get Home Before Dark /shop to get your Unite t-shirts and make sure that there is another season of this show. Who knows if we can't pay for the hosting fees and to keep the lights on. Much less. We got a pretty tall tab over here with our alcohol budget. It just goes up more and more every season, it seems like.
Yeah, at least I'm the make weight here.
Yeah. You didn't even finish your bottle. Come on, man.
Damn, that's so much high fructose corn syrup. My gout is just
you got
flare up.
Fused for a reason, man.
I didn't get both of them done.
Yeah.
My gout's gonna flare up.
Get all your bones fused together. Just make it into a flipper.
We got to meet up. Yeah, Gio, we got to meet up at some point, man. One of these days.
Yeah.
I haven't met you. I haven't met up yet.
Thank you, guys. Hell of a regular season. Hell of a playoff season. Hell of a cup. Hell of a show. It's a long one. It was worth it. Worth every bit of it. I don't want to stop. I don't want to close.
5 stripes don't stop.
Don't stop. We won the cup. I feel suck it, Orlando.
I feel like this is our own way to keep that last little bit of magic of the cup. Like once this podcast ends, my cup and my season really comes to a close.
Well, the thing is, we're gonna still have the MLS Cup because we won it. Did you see that picture of Joseph Martinez with the 5 trophies that he won?
I know.
It's more than Orlando has won in their season in the US.
Even with the ones that they claim that they don't have ownership to, which is great.
I know. They won't have any leg to stand on anymore. My only thing is Mets and Portland fans, they were great. And they said, welcome to the One Star Club. And I said, thanks, but I'll see you in a few years. And we won't be in the same club anymore.
All right. I love it. Chop that tree, boys. We got us some wood. I like it. Love the hell out of you guys. Thanks for checking us out.
You guys didn't know that's actually Kevin went and sawed off a piece of the log.
Yeah. It's the softest wood. It was Douglas fir, so didn't hold up.
There's nothing else to say. We won the cup. Suck it. Suck it, MLS. Suck it, all you teams. Suck it.
Bye, guys.
Hey, as always, be home before dark.
Suck it.